All right, I am live and welcome to the Meta Business Millennial live podcast, live stream, the first for 2024. And I am so honored to be here and so grateful to be celebrating this new year with all of you. Greetings. I am Erin Patten, metaphysical master in a millennial age, and it is my life's purpose to guide you and organizations along an enlightened path. So I invite you to sit comfortably and tune in as I welcome you to the Meta Business Millennial, where we get the real conversations you won't get in the boardroom so that we understand this is exactly the path we need to be on in order to grow, evolve, and thrive. Yes, yes. This is exactly the path that we need to be on in order to grow, evolve, and thrive. I couldn't have said it better in that intro. And for 2024, this path of evolution, this path of growth is essential. We are in a new year, we're in a new season, if you will, yet we're still kind of in this very wintry, inward focused time period. So we also have to be really honest with ourselves about where we actually need to be going in this day and time. Because I feel like, yes, we set resolutions. I'm going to get into that too, because I definitely set resolutions. Yet at the same time, we want to honor our body, we want to honor the seasons, and we want to make sure we're doing it in the right sequencing. And this is something that I've had to come to understand myself around how to move to and through all of my goals, all of my intentions is process goal alignment and making sure everything is done in the right time, in the right sequence, if you will. And I'm someone who wants like everything at once. Like I want it all now. I'm like, this is why I'm the meta business millennial. Like I'm the ultimate millennial. Like I want insta everything. And that really is just not possible when you think about the metaphysics of it, because first of all, we have our thoughts. And our thoughts are waves, our thoughts are frequencies, our thoughts exist in a whole different dimension. And so when we think about our dreams, when we think about what we want in our lives, we must understand that it's going to take time for it to come out of the ethers, out of the waveform into a manifested three-dimensional experience. And so that's essentially the process goal alignment. And when I also talk about the vibration precedes the manifestation, because you have the vibration in your mind of what you want, you have your resolution, you have your intentions for what you want in this life, and then you have to get ready to receive it. You have to get your body ready, you have to get your being ready, you have to get your heart ready. You have to probably go through some lessons as well to make sure you don't mess it up when you get to the dream. And that's part of the process. And when I talk about the process goal alignment and getting to where you want to go. And so, coming back to what this season is in terms of the winter season, we're coming right out of the winter solstice, the longest night of the year. And now we're starting to have longer days leading up to the summer solstice. And it's an inward reflection time. And so that's why it makes sense too, also for us to be thinking about how we want to go inward currently and how we want to resolve or resolute some of the things that are happening in our lives for the better. And making sure we're giving ourselves the time and space to adjust for those resolutions. And I'm speaking to this too because it's healthy for me also to talk through it this way and understanding that I have to always give myself grace. There is never any punishment in the process. And this is very analogous to how many of us were raised, especially me. I grew up in a very strict, very disciplined household, and everything that was achieved was almost done by way of punishment. by being grounded, by sacrificing, by taking away things so that I can achieve something. And this is not God's way. God is not a punishing God. God wants us to have everything all the time, as much as we want, as beautiful as we want, of course, in the right measure. So, for us to be able to remove punishment in the process is a huge, I would say, upgrade for us to getting to our dreams, because every aspect of that process should be an enjoyable process. When things aren't going our way, it should still be pleasurable. It should still be enjoyable. And that's not really easy, particularly for someone like me who was raised the way I was raised, to understand as easily as it sounds, because when I'm not getting my way, it feels like I'm being punished. When I'm not getting what I want right away, it feels like I'm not having what I'm meant to be having. And it can be perceived and received as punishment. And that's essentially what we want to remove as we're moving into this new 2024 of achieving our goals, getting to our resolutions, is understanding that every aspect of the process should be fun, it should be juicy, it should be enjoyable and pleasurable as much as possible. And it is up to us to find those inklings of pleasure, those inklings of fun in the lesson. And and this is part of the work. This is definitely part of the work. And I know for us, we're just like, what, Erin? How can you tell me I'm gonna have some fun and I don't have what I want right now? I don't have my man right now. I don't have my millions of dollars right now. I understand what you're going through. I understand what you're feeling. I understand how you feel. And I don't have my wife right now. I don't have my spouse right now. I don't have my kids right now. Whatever it is, we have to be able to enjoy the process of getting there and understanding that we're going to have exactly what we want at the end of the day, and trusting, not even understanding, and trusting that we're going to have exactly what we want when the time and the condition and the place are aligned. And we're going to know it because it feels good, it feels aligned. We're going to know it because we're so much happier in the process. And there's no desperation. There's no desperation, because when we're moving from that place of desperation, when we're moving from that place of punishment, we get exactly that. We get desperate outcomes. We get punishing outcomes that we're having to pay for, consequences. And so I want to move into my resolutions, because I always speak from my own personal experience and what I want to see for myself. And I actually posted it on Instagram this morning and Facebook, a few of my resolutions, and one of them is around trusting the process with my business. And that's actually what inspired today's podcast, because I'm doing this journey with all of you. And I want everyone to understand that, to overstand that, to see that in me, is that all that I teach, I'm a spiritual teacher, a metaphysical teacher, metaphysical master. All that I teach is coming from personal experience, and I'm walking this life just as you are, as a human being with flaws and imperfections and traumas and all the things. Yet at the same time, I'm walking it with very intention, very aligned intention, and knowing that I'm doing so with God. I'm walking this journey with the trust that I am going to have everything that I desire at the end of this life. And I'm walking this journey knowing that I'm getting better every single day. And I'm not only am I getting better, but I'm actively working at improving myself every single day. So, and that essentially are these are like the nuances, the small differences that really take us from being like human beings to like divine beings. When we're moving with more purpose, when we're moving from our heart center, when we're moving with intention, this takes us out of that human doing type of existence to a human being, a divine being existence, a godly existence, a goddess like an existence. Because even in our path back to God, God wants us to explore the nuances of what we may call evil or what we may call bad or what we may deem as mistakes, because that brings us back to God. And it's what in many, in spirituality or in other contexts, as we call the contrast. We really don't know what we want until we know what we don't want. And once we've experienced what we don't want, it makes it so much easier to know what we do want. And so, as we're moving towards our resolution, for me, like I said, I'm really trusting in the process of my business, whether I'm moving quickly towards my clients, quickly towards my monetary goals, quickly towards all the events that I want to host this year, or slowly. I know that I'm trusting in the beautiful outcome of all of it. And so that means when I'm going through my day to day with my work, when I'm dealing with my colleagues, I'm making sure that all things are aligned to serve the good of where I'm trying to go in my company. So, do I have the right people on my team? Am I making sure that I'm prioritizing the right projects and the right tasks? Am I allocating my resources to the right projects and the right tasks? And this is a daily assessment and what a lot of people call strategy. And essentially, the work that we do at the meta business world in terms of our meta business strategy work is just that. And we model it at our organization is how do we make sure that our vision is in line with our values and our values are aligned with our vision so that we may be able to achieve our day-to-day goals. And then we're able to then devise projects and tasks and activities that then thus get us to that vision at the end of the year or the end of the quarter, whatever that time horizon projection looks like for you. And essentially, that's my number one resolution. And I know a lot of you got to see that. And I had my little money bag with it too, because in this realm, in this third dimension, money is a huge indicator of compensation, of outcomes, of value. And as much as we deem it not real or say it's not real, it certainly is a reality in this dimension for us to get through life, to buy groceries, to pay our bills, to wear clothes, all these things. Like money is a necessary tool to do those things. Just like you need a hammer to nail, a picture to the wall. You need money to get through this life. So we want to understand that we have to make sure that we're honoring ourselves in the process of utilizing these tools. We're honoring ourselves in the process of knowing what we want, what we don't want, and giving ourselves the grace to allow that trust to start to cultivate and to allow ourselves to really move into a space where we know that all that we need is going to be there every single day, including the money, because the money is the piece that really trips everybody up. It trips everyone up, and it also creates some bad actions in people, some bad emotions in people, for lack of better words. And there's no judgment in the badness of it. It's just an acknowledgement of where you are, of where I am, and how do I recover from that? How do I recover from that fall? How do I recover from that mistake? And trusting in that process. And then the next bit of my resolutions, I spoke to being able to create and inspire my clients, my followers, you guys, with heart driven content. And this exercise right here, this going live on a weekly basis, is one of the key aspects of creating more heart driven, more heart centered content for my clients and for my followers. Because I feel like for me personally, I'm very much a perfectionist. I very much like everything to be prepackaged and wrapped pretty in a bow before I hand it to you. And that's part of my love language. I realized part of one of my top love language is to give gifts. I love to give gifts. And I see my work and what I offer as a metaphysical master, as the CEO and founder of the meta business world, as my gift and offering to you. And I want it to be perfect all the damn time. I want it to be perfect. Yet at the end of the day, I'm me and perfectly imperfect. And so what you're going to get is what you see. And so this live is very much my intention at getting more authentic with my followers, getting more authentic with my clients, and showing up as me on a weekly basis for you to engage with, for you to tap into, and for us to learn and grow together. And I like to say that it's a collaborative learning journey because as much as I'm here to teach, I'm also here to receive as a student of myself, a student from other people. So in this is definitely a shameless plug to drop comments, to DM me, to email me, to talk about kind of if things that are resonating with you in this podcast, if you're wanting to understand more about our Meta Business World offerings. This is definitely the opportunity to do that through these lives, so that I can hear from you what it is that is challenging you in the field, whether it's in your career, whether it's working with your colleagues, if you're starting up a company, um, if it's with your family and juggling your family obligations with your work obligations. All of these conversations, all these topics are fair play in this podcast and with me, because that's essentially the work of the meta business world. There is no compartmentalizing who we are. We are divine beings, we're human beings, and we're also work. We also earn a living, and we also have families. We have loved ones that we have to take care of, or we're taking care of ourselves. And we have dreams that we want to get to, that we feel like God planted in our hearts, that we want to see come to fruition. So all of these things are part of what the meta business values embody, is making sure that every aspect of your life is really heart driven and heart centered. And so at the end of the day, that comes from me. That comes from me. And so what you're going to be getting and what you're going to be seeing from me from here on out is very heart driven, very authentic content, whether it be live, whether it be prepackaged, whether it be webinars, whether it be master classes, events. I really want it to be heart focused. And that's really one of my deepest resolutions and intentions for 2024 for all of you. And then my third resolution was about my fitness journey. I started working with a trainer a few months ago. His name is Javier. Shout out to Javier. And I've really enjoyed running to the gym, getting into the gym, getting fit, and feeling strong. And I said the results have been resulting because I really cared about having a nice butt. I mean, I'm gonna just be 100 with y'all. And I've started to really enjoy and love my body in the way that it is. And at the same time, I have to also acknowledge the strength in what I've created and how it's impacted me and my family. Because for many of you or that don't know, my mom has dementia, and particularly she has Lewy body dementia, so it makes her body very difficult to move. So she has difficulty walking, she has difficulty getting dressed, she has difficulty doing a lot of things physically. And not on multiple occasions since I started my training, I've literally had to deadlift pick up my mom. And had I not had this physical training, I can't say that my mom would be in the condition that she's in. Like, I really had to, in an emergency situation, have physical feat that really helped to save my mom and her condition. And so I really am grateful to my body, which I hope all of you too can be kind and loving to your body this year, whether you're wanting to work out more or ramp up your immune system. I know I've been a little bit under the weather, so I've been taking a lot of supplements and drinking teas and eating healthier, even more cleaner than I have been, and understanding that our body is our temple. And I may put my little booty pics and stuff on Instagram and celebrate my body in a very, it may seem like, um, you know, way that's just about the feminine, but at the end of the day, it's also about honoring who I am as a temple, my body as my temple. Because yes, I am this divine being, but I'm a divine being in this human body. And a part of our resolutions, and I'm sure many of you, are about how do I honor my body more? How do I make sure I get better foods? How am I eating better? And not punishing yourself in the process, because I've been there myself, even in this journey with my trainer. Like, I wanted to get to a certain space by my time it was my birthday in November. I didn't feel like I was there. I was mad at myself on my birthday trip. I'm going to be completely 100 and honest with you all. And that's just not how we grow, not how we evolve, is being mad at ourselves. And fundamentally, like I started off this conversation, it's not about punishment. This journey is about enjoying, having fun, and being pleasurable every step of the way. Even when we're feeling like we're not at our peak performance, even when we're feeling like we're not where we're meant to be, how do we continue to still honor that progress? Honor that dedication. Come on now, I was in a gym hard. Honor that commitment to myself to make myself better. So these are ways in which I hope that you're able to see yourself as you're getting towards your resolutions, getting towards your goals, is that you want to make sure you're honoring yourself every step of the way. Every step of the way. And then last on my resolutions is about taking some downtime for myself, some rest, and also with my loved ones. Because I've realized, particularly in this last year, that me going out, me partying was definitely like a huge aspect of me sharing space and quality time with people. Yet it doesn't really feel quality as much as quality as it used to. And what feels quality to me is actually more conversations, more silence, more quiet time, um, quality quiet time with myself and with my loved ones. And when I say quiet, meaning no distractions. So, not a whole bunch of TV or movies or loud music or even a lot of drinks or anything like that. It's really about, like, for me and my son, I got him a new coloring station or a little creation station. So sitting with him and playing Connect Four or coloring with him or just eating my dinner and chatting with him about my day. Like, he's to the space now where he can actually hold conversations. And so um, having that kind of time and sitting with my mom, and even though she's not always verbal and wanting to communicate with her voice, she does with her eyes, she does with her body language, holding her hand, taking her into the kitchen with me while I'm cooking, going to the park. So these are intentions, resolutions that I really want to see for myself in the new year, that really are focused more on rest, because I have such a go, go, go lifestyle. As I'm sure many of you are so busy. How do we find more time for stillness? And have spoken to this now for years. Yet that stillness, I think in the beginning looked more like, oh, like meditation, like sitting for 30 minutes, which definitely is part of that. Yet at the same time, what does stillness look like when it's not meditation? Is it a bath for yourself? Is it sitting on your couch and reading a book? Is it sitting on your couch and just staring out of the window? um, Sipping on some tea? Like, how do you make sure that you're taking that time to be still? How do I make sure I'm taking that time to be still with myself, resting with myself, and also with my loved ones, is a huge exploration for me for 2024. So I just thought that it'd be really cool to share these resolutions with you all in hopes that they align with what you're seeing for yourself for 2024, and or they may inspire your own journey for 2024 and what you may want to see for yourself and your goals and your intentions. And of course, tying it back to who we are as at the Meta Business World, in that we are leadership advisors, we are organizational um, consultants, like your organizational board of advisors, board of directors, where we can support you in getting to and through your own goals, your own dreams, your own resolutions, whether it be as an individual, as an organization. For example, we have our vision and values offering, which I spoke to earlier, in terms of aligning with a very clear vision to allow your organization, your company, or you to get where you want to go out of life. And then also we have our VIP day, which is an opportunity to really bring together a lot of people around a pleasurable event, a pleasurable experience to really activate the energy of your organization, to activate your energy of your company so that you can really start to bring and lift the vibration of where you want to go for 2024 and beyond. Because I'm going to always say it, how we've done business in the past is not compatible with the future. So in the past, we've been hyper focused on working hard, going harder, and not really focused on how do we cultivate and pour into the human beings that are doing the work so that they can be more creative, they can be more collaborative, they can be more productive, they can be more exponentially greater. And the best way to do that is by investing in the people. And the people are the products, the people are the services, the people at your organizations are everything. And the more you invest in them and the more they invest back into you, then the more your company can grow. And when you see that those things aren't aligned, then you know that it's time to either sever those ties or do something different. And either way, the meta business world is here to support you in aligning with those decisions, making those decisions, and then creating the spaces for you to do it well. And of course, we always have our one-on-one coaching, whether it be with me or our other folks at the meta business world. We are here to support and serve you because we love you and we love what we're doing. And we really are committed to our vision of seeing 700 enlightened business leaders across the world who are leading companies, who are inspiring their customers, their clients, their employees, and who are really shifting the earth dynamic, the earth paradigm with their products, with their services, and inspiring generations to really love and honor themselves and honor this planet. And that's what the Meta Business World Vision is. And so, for all of you who have made it to the end of this podcast, I thank you. As I promised in the beginning, I'm going to do these podcasts weekly, live. I'm going to do them live. And of course, I'm going to post snippets from them to all my social media channels. So don't feel like you're going to ever miss out. If you miss a live, there's going to be plenty of opportunity to tap in with me on my social media at I am Erin Patten, on YouTube, across all social media. Of course, the podcast is the Meta Business Millennial Podcast. And until then, I really encourage you to, stay hopeful, stay trusting in your vision and your dreams for 2024 and your resolutions. I am here to hold space for your big dreams. So be sure to drop a comment about what your resolution is for 2024. I can hold space for that. And we're going to get to where we want to go. We're going to get to where we want to go with ease, with love, with pleasure, with fun. And it's going to look even greater than we could have ever imagined when we get there. Okay. So with that, I love you all so much. Peace. Did you really love this episode of the Meta Business Millennial Podcast? Well, I am honored, and I appreciate you subscribing, leaving a review, and sharing it with your friends, because your feedback allows us to co-create more enlightened conversations. And if you're interested in growing your soul now, head over to my website, erinpatten.com, to find all the show notes, links, and free resources to get your energy activated today. In the meantime, stay bright, my friends. Much love and light. Peace.